Hello, MA. So good to see you all in one place again. My name is Mr. Muse, one of the administrative vice principals. I'm here with Mr. Gotti and Mr. Emmy and Ms. Ofa Taimani for our welcome back to the Return to Campus seminar. Today we have a lot of information to present to you, but first and foremost, we want to just emphasize how excited we are to have you coming back to our campus in larger numbers. The place is not the same without you, and we can't wait to have you back in our classrooms, living and learning. So I've already introduced myself. Just I'll turn it over to Mr. Emmy to say something about himself.
Hello, I'm Mr. Emmy. I'm one of the administrative vice principals here. Good to see you all. Looking forward to seeing you in person. And I primarily work with 11th and 12th grade students.
Hello, Bears. I'm Ms. Rigatti. I am also another administrative vice principal, and I am looking forward to seeing you April 5th or on whatever day you're starting. And I also work with 9th and 10th graders. And then I'm going to pass it off to your principal, Ms. Kennel.
Thank you, Ms. Rigatti. Hi, everybody. I logged in a bit late because I was running around the campus. We got signage, we have color coding, we have all kinds of things you'll hear about today so that we can welcome you back and keep everybody safe. So please listen with an open heart and open mind and be ready to do your part. We are excited to reopen and have students on campus. We also have to make sure everyone's going to do their part to keep everyone safe as well. So welcome. Without further ado, I think we've all introduced ourselves. We're going to kick it off so you can hear about returning to school.
All right, Bears. So like we all said, we have missed you, and we're looking forward to the 2 weeks after spring break when we get to welcome more students onto campus. The main question you might be having is, what day do I get to start? And so the day that you get to start is depends on the group that you've been assigned to. And that was sent to you in an email yesterday. And so if you're in group A1, you start Monday, April 5th. If you're in group B1, you start Thursday, April 8th. Group A2 starts the next Monday, April 12th. And group B2 starts Thursday, April 15th. And again, you should have already checked your email, hopefully, and know your group assignments. They were given out yesterday. And make sure to check IC for room numbers so you know where to go. That's really, really important. We're also not accepting any requests for changes because this is a really complicated process. So if you are a visual person like me and need to see the calendar of what it actually looks like, here it is. So spring break is next week. If you are traveling, we are asking you to make sure you follow guidelines in quarantine. And then group A1 starts April 5th, and then B1, and then A2, and then B2. And Wednesdays will remain asynchronous. Everybody's home on Wednesdays. Once April 19th starts, that's when both groups A1 and A2 combine. So if you have a sibling who's in A1 and you're in A2, you guys eventually get to come together, but not until April 19th. And group A then will come every Monday, Tuesday, and group B will come every Thursday, Friday. And again, everyone's home on Wednesday. This goes all the way up to finals, and then we'll have a separate final schedule that we're still working on. What should be in your backpack? I'm sure there are many things that are hopefully going to be in your backpack, and these should be some of them. So extra hand sanitizer, extra masks, a water bottle with water. The drinking fountains will be turned off. However, you will be able to refill your water bottle, so make sure you bring one. Your planner, if you have it, or some way to keep track of your work. Any type of assignments or materials that you need for class, including something to write with. Really important to bring your charger and your laptop or Chromebook. Make sure it's fully charged. Really, really important. Earphones, obviously. And then we are asking every student to wear their lanyard and student ID, and they'll be getting those on their first day when they come onto campus. So another thing that you need to make sure you complete, and we're asking you to do this before you return to campus. So You need to make sure you complete your Frontline and you register for it. And there is, if you have a cell phone and can download an app on it, there is a Frontline Health app. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Take a screenshot. This says that the sign up was on Wednesday. That got a little bit delayed. It is up today and will be definitely up tomorrow. So if you look in Canvas, there'll be an assignment that'll say how to get you onto Frontline. It's linked to your Sequoia email, your SEQ email. Okay. Again, here's some more detailed information. We are going to be sharing these slides on the website later. So if you need the QR codes, these directions are also under announcements under on the M-AHS website. And once you take your daily health screening, hopefully before you leave your house, you'll get a badge and it'll look like this if you've cleared it. If you haven't cleared it, please do not come to school. If you did clear it and you get a green check mark, please take a screenshot of that check mark so you can easily show it to us at the entrance, and this will make sure that we get you in as fast as possible. So again, if you need a visual, if you need a list with check boxes, here is what you should do before coming to campus. You've completed your Frontline Health screening. You have extra masks and sanitizers. You're also wearing a mask. You have your student ID and lanyard, and that you'll get on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day is the first day you're coming. Obviously, your electronic devices, a jacket. It's been a little cold in the mornings inside classrooms because we have extra ventilation bringing in outside air, and a water bottle. So where are you going to enter campus? This, we need to divide you up by alphabetical order. There were long debates about this. So we're sorry if it causes an inconvenience or if you have to get extra steps in. If you're like some of us who've been sitting on Zoom for long periods of day, getting extra steps in might not be a bad thing. Entrance number 1 is in the back of the school by the 2 gyms. That is for if you have a last name A through G. Entrance 2 is in the front of the school by kind of where the attendance office is and Pride Hall entrance. That's going to be the middle of the alphabet H through Q. And entrance 3 is kind of off to the side of the front, and that's for last names R through Z. So please use your assigned entrance so that we're all spaced out. When can you come to campus? So you all know your first classes, most of you start at 8:45 if you have a first or a second period. You need to come at least, well, the sign-in stations are going to be open at 8:15 daily. And we recommend that you get there at 8:15, especially on the first day, because you're learning how to navigate through campus and how to get to your first couple of classes. And so make sure you are 8:15 and you're nice and spaced out 6 feet apart. We'll have spacers out there for the lines of whatever entrance you're assigned to. After 9 a.m., all entrances except the one near the attendance office, so entrance 2, will be closed. So if you're tardy, you don't go to your entrance after 9 a.m., you come straight to the front of the school. But please don't be tardy. That just disrupts more people in classes. So you're going to go to your designated entrance. You're going to show us your Frontline green badge on your phone if you have one. If not, we can help you out with that. And you're actually going to receive 2 wristbands that you have to wear all day. Those wristbands indicate where your lunch is going to be, and they also indicate that you've cleared your health screening. And you must have your wristbands on in order to enter your classrooms. I'm going to hand this part over to Mr. Muse.
Thanks, Mr. Gotti. So I'm going to talk a little bit about life on campus and what you can expect when you come on your first day, whether it's the 5th or 7th or the week after. We could go to the next slide. Thank you. So campus is pretty empty at the moment. We have some students on campus here and there, and some staff increasingly, but starting on the 5th, we're going to be all together again, those who have opted in, some portion of us on campus, and our Our goal is to of course, create the most welcoming, supportive environment that we possibly can. And you know that you'll find that here at MA, but we also have to be mindful of some things that will keep all of the folks in our community safe. We're still in a pandemic, definitely signs of improvement around the world, but in the meantime, we still need to adhere to and follow some what we hope are some simple and easy to remember guidelines. So the first one that we want to just emphasize, and you hear this a lot, is the 3 W's. We will expect everyone on campus to have a mask in classrooms, outside of classrooms, except if you have to eat or drink something. And we'll talk about that in a second when we get to lunch. But we need that mask on, we need it snug, we need it to fit. And we need it to be a good quality mask that works. We do have some extras available on campus if you forget yours, if it breaks, but do come ready for that. That's part of your to-go pack that you prepare the night before, the morning of. Washing hands is really important. COVID is transmitted on surfaces. So make sure you wash your hands frequently when you're walking into classrooms, leaving classrooms, before and after you eat. Keep those hands clean. And if you're using soap and water, sing happy birthday twice. Very important, especially during lunch, is watching your distance. 6 feet at all times. It's about the width of a bicycle. So keep that. We have stickers all over campus to help remind you of that 6 feet, especially in our lunch areas. We have stickers and dots and circles painted every which way just to make sure that you see those 6 feet of distance in between. And our main goal is to keep people physically distanced because that's the safe thing to do, but socially connected. In keeping with this desire to keep people physically distanced as much as we can, all of our hallways are now one way. So you'll notice when you come to campus, lots of arrows everywhere. They're on the floor, they're on the walls, they're painted on the grass. Those arrows are for passing periods. So when you are going from class to class, you have to follow those, and it's going to take some planning on your part, and we have maps everywhere, but we just want to prepare you for that when you come. Those arrows mean that you have to walk in that direction on your way from one class to the next, and we need you to stick by that. Okay, so as Ms. Rigotti mentioned earlier, one of the things you're going to get when you check in is you're going to get not only a colored wristband for the day that you're attending, but you're also going to get a wristband for your lunch zone. It's going to be based on either your 3rd period class or your 4th period class. If you have a 3rd or 4th period class free, you're going to be in the library, so you'll be eating over in this zone. That color wristband will determine your lunch zone, and we need you to immediately after your 3rd period class or your 4th period class, just head over to that area because that's where you're going to eat, and we need you to stick to that. It's really important for reasons of just knowing where everybody is throughout the course of the day in case we need to do some contact tracing. Plenty of places to eat. We've been really preparing to make sure that all of these zones are comfortable and welcoming and have plenty of places to sit and relax in between your classes during lunch. So while we are eating lunch or breakfast, it's really doubly important to stay in those zones, especially for lunch, but also to make sure that if you are eating or drinking, you are at least 6 feet apart. That is really, really the key moment. Anytime that mask comes down, you are 6 feet apart from people in all directions. Really important. And we need you to take that on as a responsibility. We'll definitely remind you, but it's really important for you to take that on as something that you commit to doing if you're going to be committing to coming to our campus. So in terms of eating rules, eat on the dot. We'll have lots of dots everywhere to indicate 6 feet. Eat in your zone based on 3rd or 4th period. Clean your hands before and after. Do not share food or drink. Sad but true reality of our times. Wear a mask if you're not eating. And we want to make sure that, and sad as it is, we will not be eating in classrooms. I know how much we value those lunchtime meetings with teachers sometimes, but we have to do all eating and drinking outside. They need to rest and eat on their own, or in outside spaces as well. So will you. And just a reminder, we are a closed campus, and so and we're very closed now. We have fencing, additional fencing, so just be mindful of that and enjoy all of the many beautiful outdoor spaces we have on our campus, and that will help us keep safe and well. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Emmy, who's going to talk a little bit about instruction.
Thanks, Mr. Muse. Hi, everyone. So as many of you already know, we're going to be using a hybrid instructional model. Roomers, Zoomers is what we've been terming it. So teachers are going to be in their rooms with the students who are present, a certain number, and the remainder of the class will be participating at home. All students will be able to access the learning tools through Zoom. Teachers will continue to use engagement strategies that they've been using in the Zoom room. And we're just making sure that it's an equitable experience for all students who are in class, those that are in the room and those that are at home from completing their work from Zoom. The bell schedule will remain exactly the same as it has been for the year. So what you'll notice is classes are going to have a very different setup than you're used to. Most of your classes will take place in classrooms. All the student desks will have plexiglass and be spaced 6 feet apart. And again, like Mr. Muse and Mr. Gotti mentioned, students will be required to wear face masks. So possible exceptions to this will be your PE class. If you are currently in PE classes are going to be outside in designated areas. Some are going to use ventilated indoor spaces, and students will not be dressing out for PE. So it's really important to wear comfy shoes and clothes on the days that you will have PE. VAPA classes, visual performing art classes, we need you to check in with your teacher just to verify what changes they may make to their classroom location. And again, PE teachers today and tomorrow should be notifying students of their exact location for the first day you're on campus with them. And one more reminder, please check Infinite Campus for the room assignments for all of your other classes. Where are my classes? So check your schedule, Infinite Campus, like I said previously. That will have all your room numbers on them. Students who have an open period in the middle of the day, so period 3, 4, 6. 6 is only if you have a 0 period. So if you have a 6, if you don't have a 6 and then you have a 0 period, or you don't have a 3 or 4, you'll report to the library. We will be taking attendance, so you will need to attend. So when you're in your class, we ask that you please remain in your seat unless directed otherwise by your teacher. If you do need to use the lavatory, just communicate that with your teacher, but do remain seated until you are given permission to get up. Again, please wear your mask correctly. Reminder, don't wear a chin strap and make sure it's not under your nose. It needs to be fully covering your face. Attendance and tardies. So students that are scheduled to come to school and have in-person learning will be marked the following: if they are there in class, present; if they're not there, absent; and if they are late, tardy. Phone calls will be going home for unexcused physical absences, and they will go out unless a parent calls in and clears it. Students who are learning at home, the same procedures will be followed. If you're present on Zoom, then you'll be marked virtually absent or participated. Again, attendance, engagement, learning, it's all important. So tech, if you need a Chromebook, please, please, please come and check one out today or tomorrow. So Chromebook pickup times are from 9 a.m. to 3:45, or if you're having an issue with your Chromebook, get it taken care of now, today or tomorrow. That way, when you come on April 5th, we'll be ready to go. Don't forget to bring your Chromebook and a laptop and make sure it's fully charged. You'll need headphones and bring your charger just in case you have an issue with your battery. If you have tech issues at any point during the day, please notify your teacher, and they've been made aware of a procedure to notify us and to help us get you a temporary Chromebook to borrow until we fix yours. Health and safety. I'm going to continue with this.
Mr. Emmy, you're muted.
Oops, thank you. So as was shown in that video, washing your hands and using hand sanitizer is very important. And we should be doing it when we're entering and exiting classrooms, when we're entering and exiting campus, and before and after you eat. So when we're entering and leaving classrooms, we're gonna have a little different protocol than we're used to. When you enter classrooms, every student is expected to grab a wipe and wipe down their desk prior to use, wipe down your desk, wipe down your chair, and students will be entering the classroom one at a time. When you leave classrooms, students will be also given a wipe again to wipe down their desk before leaving. And again, we're gonna have you leave one at a time. I'm gonna hand this over to Mr. Muse.
Hey, bathrooms. Okay, bathrooms are important, so let's talk about them. We have designated bathrooms for each of the same zones that we have designated for lunch. So while you are in class in those different zones, there is a bathroom for you. Please consult that map, and we have abundant signage all over campus to help guide you to the right place. We have color-coded bathroom passes to help reinforce that as well. And so if the pass matches the sign on the door, you're in the right place. We will have only one student at a time in those bathrooms for health reasons. And we'll have lines outside if necessary, socially distanced for your convenience. So we will also, for your safety, make sure that we clean those bathrooms very regularly, at least on the hour. And we thank our wonderful custodial staff for doing so. So this is the map again. The lunch areas and the bathroom areas are the same. So if you have a class in zone 1, you will use the bathroom designated for that area. Likewise, if you're in zone 5, you will use the bathrooms, for example, in this case, in the G wing, unless you're in PE, in which case you have some bathrooms designated for your class elsewhere. So stick to those, please. This is a part of our contact tracing efforts. When you all opted in to return to campus, you, by filling out that form, opted in also to agree with health and safety agreements. And so these are the things that once again, we want you to commit to. Have that face mask on snugly and well attached. Keep 6 feet of distance between yourselves and others, especially when eating. Use the bathroom that is designated to your area. Wash your hands properly and often. Complete the health screening that Ms. Rigatti talked about before you get into onto the campus itself. Stay home if you feel unwell. We understand that you're excited to get back to school in person, but if you have any symptoms at all, we need you to complete that health form honestly and completely so that we can really know who is not well. It's really important that we commit to being honest with and thorough in our completion of those surveys on Frontline. And then finally, just follow the maps, follow the dots when it comes to checking yourself into school. Come to the right entrance. If you have questions, ask people. We'll have tons of people out here ready to help. And when it comes to dismissal, if you have no sport that you're going to be immediately a part of, or there's no study hall that you're immediately a part of, no program that you are immediately a part of, our expectation is that you go off campus to enjoy the rest of your day, log into office hours, and enjoy the comforts of home and elsewhere. So those are what everybody who is here in this meeting has signed on to. So we need you to commit to that. Now, if for whatever reason we have, we go to the next slide, instances in which we have students who have already committed to these agreements not following them, then we have to talk. We always have a collaborative problem-solving process here at MA. When it comes to things like this, you know, if the first thing we'll do is just say, hey, you know, this is where you're supposed to be having your lunch, or this is where your bathroom actually is. Are we good? That's a warning. And if we continue to have the same issues come up, either not having masks on deliberately, not keeping 6 feet apart, then we start to go through additional steps where we have to really collaborate to see how we can get you back on board with this agreement. Because these agreements, again, are in place to keep everyone safe. You've committed to them, and we have to commit to them in spirit and in deed while we're here together. I want to just be clear, if we could go back to that slide, that if we cannot, for some reason, with all of our work together, find a way to consistently commit to those agreements, we do reserve the right to invite you to continue learning from home. That is something that we hope to avoid, but it is definitely something that may happen if we cannot follow those agreements. So we just have to be clear about that. We hope it won't happen. We trust you. We hope you trust us, and we'll work together to make sure this experience is a good one for you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, Emmy, dismissal.
Dismissal. So we, again, like I said earlier, we're following the same bell schedule. It's linked in the slides that everyone has been shared. Again, Monday, Thursdays, dismissals at 1:10, Tuesdays and Fridays, dismissals at 1:10 again, unless you have a 0 period, which means dismissals at 2:35. So all students are expected to leave campus immediately following dismissal. Athletic practices. So we have limited capacity for athletic for students who need supervision between school dismissal and the start of their practices. We ask that students return home and come back for their practice if it's reasonable to do so. This will really help us to know where you are and for purposes of contact tracing. I do oversee athletics as well, and I've been in contact with coaches. I do understand that there are practices that are pretty relatively soon after our dismissal, and I'm working with the athletic teams and coaches in order to figure out something, a certain activity for you to be involved in with supervision with those coaching staff or athletic participants. We will continue to do the usual health checks for all the athletic teams. After school, office hours will remain virtual. Students who are on campus and need to attend office hours can just access them once they go home. All of our normal after school services and peer tutoring, writing center, etc., will be remaining virtual. So really there will not be after school activities happening unless it's Wednesday, where we will be holding our co-curriculars, but that is dependent on the staff that are able to supervise. So wellness and mental health supports are available on campus. So we will have Star Vista counselors on site for crisis support and remotely through Zoom for virtual for non-emergent support. Please stay in class. If you're really in crisis, let a teacher know. They'll notify us and we will get you to the proper location and to see one of the therapists. You also are welcome to access the student support services in B20 during passing periods or breaks. We will not be able to allow anyone into B20, but there are tents that will be set up with tables that will be outside in the back on the side by the green, and we will be able to help you there. Spring break. So, as we know, the pandemic is not over. We know a lot of places around the country people are getting vaccinated. People are feeling like we can move around a little bit more. While the trend is flattening, we still need to be really vigilant and make sure we're staying safe, especially if we want to be able to maintain in-person learning at school. So we're asking everyone, and we've communicated this to your parents as well, to avoid traveling to high-risk gatherings and traveling out of state during spring break. We're asking everyone, if you are interacting with people over spring break, wear a mask, protect yourself, obviously follow all the same health and safety expectations. And if you do travel for spring break, please visit, and again, we've shared this with your parents, the CDC Spring Break Travel Guide for information about safe travel and quarantine practices for after. And
All right.
Yep.
Great, this is me. All right, for the sake of time, I'm gonna move quickly, but this is super duper important. So for COVID-19 exposures, let's say you know someone and you've been exposed to someone who has COVID or has symptoms of COVID, or if you yourself have COVID, you need to make sure you contact the front office and you report your symptoms and your health screening. This is super duper important so that we keep our campus safe and we keep it open. So we need your cooperation with this. Can you all hear me? Yes, okay. The next thing is COVID testing. We are highly encouraging you to get tested every 2 weeks. This slideshow will be linked in our MA Bears website. And there is a list here of COVID testing options. Our staff will be required to test on-site monthly, just so you know. And then finally, as we close, just to review, this is your checklist before returning to campus. So you're gonna check this off. You've reviewed all the student participation agreements. That's what Mr. Muse went over in detail around mask wearing and 6 feet, and one-way hallways and dismissal. You're reviewing that, again, this is not a Wednesday asynchronous assignment. It is posted today and tomorrow. Sign up for the Frontline Health app in advance. It's going to help us really run smoothly that first day when you're on campus in order to get in. We don't want long lines and we don't want you late to class. Look for an email in your group assignments. This was sent to you yesterday on Wednesday, March 24th. It's going to tell you what group you're in, and that will tell you what group you're assigned to. If you're traveling over spring break, again, like Mr. Emmy said, see district recommendations and make a plan for transportation and how you will get to campus. This is important. We have bike racks available, but again, they're not right next to the entrances, so you might want to give yourself some extra time.